Hi guys, I want to change the topic because I've been talking about the geopolitics for a while, and then let's change the topic. One thing I've been doing actually for years when I lived in Berkeley, I started thinking about this, but the only problem there is that I did not have programming skills. So I was looking for some partners, but it's actually harder than you think to find a really good partners. But the Claude code, let's call it the CC, it's saved my butt because they offer the best opportunity for non-programs like me to have somebody. Really, I would say that they're among the best programmers, human programmers, right? Because typically, if the human programmers, they may be good at one field, they may be good at the Python, they may be good at the Visual Basic, they may be good at the JSON, HTML, those kind of things. But very few people can be an expert across all the field. But this Cloud Code, CC, really for the first time that offered such an opportunity. It's real because when you work with them, when you work with them closely, you feel that you really feel the power because so far, my project has been pretty complicated. I would say, you may use that as a stress test for vibe coding. Um, because it involved so many uh, different side, different parties, and you have to obey the federal laws and everything. So I have to consider the parents and the student and schools and everything. So my project is really one of the most complicated. So it's a really test to see how far they can go. So far, I would say I'm really happy because anytime I have a problems, I tell the program that I tell the CC that what I want. Usually I chat with the Cloud chat, and then because CC Cloud Code doesn't save any session, so when it's gone, it's gone. Everything's run in the background. So with if you enter your vibe instruction to Cloud Code, Cloud Chat, then you have a record. You can trace back. So that's the way I do it. I found it is really very productive, and then I'm very happy with the result so far. No matter how tough the problem may be, sometimes it take the one day or more than one day. Most times this is within a one day, but sometimes you have to wait for the next day, and then but they always give it the solutions. They always figured it out, in terms of a debugging. So that's really impressive. That so the only thing that I guess I can complain is that I'm paid member because in order to use the CC, you have to pay like each year is like $200. But even being a paid member, they often impose some session limit and then weekly limit and then daily limit. I guess because the CC Claude established good reputation, so a lot of people are doing that. So as the demand is going up, the supply, limited order by different constraints. So sometimes, oftentimes, so far, I have hardly any single day without waiting for some, like a couple hours, or 3 hours, 4 hours before I can resume because they impose the daily or sessional limit there. So, but in terms of quality, I'm really have nothing to complain. The other day, let's talk about it. The reason that I was doing this is that the other day I was reading an article, a report. There's some high schooler in California actually, and she was accepted by Yale, by UPenn, by Dartmouth, among the other Ivy League schools. Obviously, she set it the target to shoot for Ivy League. You know, so there's a one simple reason. Her article shared that she used her essay topic. It's very simple but a very realistic idea because her parents are straight from Guatemala, I believe, some other one of the Latin American countries. But so obviously her parents cannot speak very good English, right? So there is one thing, one problem that her parents are doing some construction work or maybe I don't remember. It's just like maybe roofing service or maybe construction service. But the problem is that they need her parents need to send the invoice to the client, so because she's the only one speaking English and she's the only one with the college education, or actually when she started, she was just like a middle school, even elementary school. But she's the one only going to school and to speak good English. So obviously, her parents relied on her to develop, to learn, and then to give the client the invoices, right? So she started with at a very young age to learn the Excel, right? And then eventually, so basically, her parents, like computer illiteracy, actually put the pressure on her. Then start to see, you can see that how realistic it is because her story is totally believable. She had no choice, but she had to help her parents to do the invoice, and then so that way, that's why she started learning the Excel, right? And then from there, she ended up going to doing research on using the computer. So basically, the story is highly realistic, highly believable, and both most roles loved by the admission officers. When they read a story like that, it's totally believable. Okay, so I was reading that, and then at one point later in the story, there's one paragraph that I noticed that before she's determined to once she get into high school, her school counselor told her to go to some internship, like Latin American Association or National in Washington D.C. or something, to make her resume look better. That's where I found out that that's an interesting story because you so far you have to think about this. So far, if you think about the LinkedIn, if you think about the all the college admissions, their focus is to make your resume look good. Okay, nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that resumes are designed for human eyes. Okay, now we're living in the AI age. You know what? The LinkedIn was created in 2003. It's more than 20 years. But in the AI age, that's almost like more than 200 years because everything's happens so fast, changing fast. But when it comes to human resources assessment, human selection, we are still following the very old model. You know, very little has been changed. Very few people recognize that with AI, you AI now can do the dirty work. I mean, not dirty work, but the leg work. AI can screening a lot of the resumes and all the application materials. In a single day can be hundreds. Because it takes them so fast. But for the human eyes, that's much slower. So that's why we have to ask ourselves question: how do you handle the AI? Now with the AI drafting resumes, drafting the letters, drafting the personal statement, and then letters of recommendations, all this kind of thing. So what is the problem is that we have AI related fraud. or academic dishonesty. Few people recognize that we can use the AI power to tame AI. That's the beauty that my project is focusing on. Basically, that in the human eyes, you can only read so many. So that's why you make your resume, maybe like for high schoolers, probably if you can make a resume like one page, that's all they love it because human, readers can get it, right? Quickly finish reading it, right, in one page. But with AI, what changes that AI is data hungry. AI is fast, AI is realistic, AI is powerful, convenient. So we have to use the AI power to tame AI in the sense that we can use the AI to, preemptively defeat academic fraud. We'll talk about this tomorrow because this is getting too long.